Psalm 121. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. This morning, as I reread Psalm 121, I realized that I was not reading it with the eyes of someone who feels strong, but with the gaze of someone who is simply trying to stay upright. I am an ordinary person, like so many others. I have faith, but my faith is not always steady. I believe in God, yet there are days when I believe while trembling. There are mornings, like today, when I wake up with a long list of things to do, worries that haven't been resolved, and questions that have no clear answers. Keep going. I work. I smile when needed. But deep inside, I carry a quiet weariness that is hard to put into words. Maybe you have felt this way too. Maybe you are listening to these words while preparing to begin a new day, with a mind still tangled, with a heart not quite ready. Perhaps you are hoping today will be easier than yesterday, or at least not heavier. I don't know what you are carrying, but as I read this psalm, I felt as though someone were standing beside me, speaking softly, "You are not carrying everything on your own. I lift up my eyes to the mountains." This opening line made me pause for a long time. I asked myself, what are the mountains in my life? They might be financial pressure, family responsibilities, expectations I place on myself, fear of failure, or the persistent feeling of not being enough. These mountains don't disappear. They stand there, solid and unmovable, often making me feel small and discouraged. There are days when I try not to look up, because facing them feels overwhelming. But the psalm does not tell me to turn away from the mountains. It invites me to lift my eyes, to look honestly at reality, and then to ask, where does my help come from? It is a very honest question. It doesn't assume I already have the answer. It doesn't force me to be strong or optimistic right away. It acknowledges that there are moments when I truly don't know what to lean on. I used to think that faith meant always knowing exactly what I believed. But the longer I live, the more I see that some seasons of faith begin with a fragile question. And perhaps God is not afraid of those questions. Perhaps He is already there in the very act of asking. My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. This answer does not arrive like thunder. It comes quietly, yet firmly. When I read it, my problems didn't vanish. But I felt that I no longer had to hold myself together alone. The one who made heaven and earth, the creator of everything vast and powerful, is not as distant as I sometimes imagine. If He can create something so immense, perhaps He is also gentle enough to notice the small worries in my heart. There are days when I fear that God is too busy with greater things than me. I worry that my concerns are too ordinary, too repetitive, too weak. But Psalm 121 does not describe a God who only cares about the grand and dramatic. It speaks of a God who pays attention to each step, to whether my foot might slip. He will not let your foot slip. This line touches me in a deeply personal way. I think of the times I nearly fell, not always in big, obvious ways. Sometimes it was a careless word, a small failure, or an overwhelming day that left me feeling out of control. I have often blamed myself for these moments of instability, telling myself I should be stronger, more resilient. But here, the psalm does not accuse me of weakness. It speaks of a presence quietly holding me, even when I am unaware of it. He who watches over you will not slumber. There have been nights when I lay awake, my thoughts racing without rest. I think about tomorrow, about what might happen, about mistakes from the past. In those moments, I feel deeply alone, as though the world has fallen asleep and only my worries remain awake with me. This line reminds me that there is one who does not sleep, not out of anxiety like mine, but out of love. That thought doesn't immediately erase my worries, but it makes them feel less cold, less isolating. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. I love the image of shade. It is not loud or dramatic. It is a quiet presence, close enough to protect, gentle enough not to suffocate. Often, I want God to fix everything quickly and clearly. But this psalm teaches me that sometimes His protection comes in the form of giving me enough strength to keep going, enough peace not to give up. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. I don't read this literally. I hear it as a reassurance that God is present in every moment, both in the brightness of day and the vulnerability of night. There are days when life feels manageable, and nights when fear has no clear name. But there is no moment that falls outside His presence. Perhaps you have your own days and nights like this, times when you feel capable, and times when you are simply trying to survive 1 hour at a time. If you are in a long night right now, I don't have easy answers. But I want to stay with this truth together. You are not forgotten in that darkness. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. When I read this, I don't think it means I will never face hardship. Life has already taught me otherwise. Pain still comes. Loss still happens. But I am beginning to understand that keeping does not mean removing every trial. It means guarding me from losing myself within them. Guarding me from becoming bitter, hopeless, or convinced that my life has no meaning. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. This closing line feels like a complete embrace. Coming when I step into the world and face its demands. Going when I return to myself, carrying exhaustion and wounds. God is not only present in moments that look spiritual, but in the entire, very human rhythm of my life. As I reflect on Psalm 121, I realize how accustomed I am to handling everything on my own. I am used to needing to be strong, to know the way, to have a plan. And when I can't do that, I feel ashamed. But this psalm does not praise my self-sufficiency. It invites me to lift my eyes and admit that I need help. And that admission does not make me weaker, it makes me more honest. I don't know what you are about to step into today. It might be a stressful workday, a difficult conversation, an important decision, or simply a day where you are trying not to collapse. I am in the same place. I don't have all the answers. But staying with Psalm 121 allows me to move a little more slowly, breathe a little more deeply, and trust that I am not walking alone. Perhaps you could take a moment, right now, to ask yourself, what are the mountains before you today? You don't need to remove them immediately. Just remember that you are not facing them alone. And if you feel unable to believe fully, that is okay. Sometimes simply staying with the question, where does my help come from, is already a prayer. As the new day begins, I carry this psalm as a gentle reminder. I don't need to run faster than I am able. I don't need to prove anything to deserve love. I can take each step with a fragile but honest faith, trusting that someone is watching over my coming and my going. And now, with my heart a little quieter, I want to pray with you, not with elaborate words, but with the sincerity of someone learning to trust one day at a time. Lord, I come to you this morning with everything I have and everything I lack. You see the mountains before me, the worries I carry, the weariness I haven't yet named. Thank you for not waiting until I am stronger before being with me. You were already there, quietly and patiently. Lord, there are times when I forget to lift my eyes. I focus so much on my struggles and limitations that I forget my help comes from you. Remind me that I do not have to carry everything alone. When I feel unsteady, keep my feet from slipping, even when I cannot see your hand holding me. Lord, in the nights when I lie awake with anxious thoughts, remind me that you do not sleep. When my mind is exhausted, let me rest in the knowledge that someone is watching over me with tireless love. Be my gentle shade, protecting me from what drains my strength. Lord, be with me in my busy days and in my vulnerable nights. Guard me as I step out into the world, and heal me as I return to myself. Watch over my life, not only my body, but my heart, so that I do not lose hope or close myself off. Lord, I do not ask you to remove every difficulty. I only ask to know that I am not invisible to you. Give me enough peace to take the next small step today. Teach me to trust that whether I am coming or going, you remain faithful and near. I place this day into your hands. Amen.